Hello YouTube, another video from Duck Lord Demon here. I just saw a story that just blows my mind, okay? Apparently, there was a man a couple years ago who was about to fall onto some subway tracks, and a police officer nearby grabbed him and dragged him away as he was falling. Now the cop pushed him to the ground and tried to subdue him, and ended up punching the guy in the face a few times. And apparently that man has lawyered up and is now arguing that this was excessive force. Now, there are cases of excessive force. There definitely are. There are cases where cops go way too damn far, where they, hurt people that they shouldn't be hurting. They throw little old ladies to the ground and do crap like that, taser them, and things like that. That happens, but I don't think that this is one of those cases. So let's roll the footage here.
Officer in Boston, Massachusetts has been hailed for saving the life of a man who almost fell onto subway tracks. But now some are suggesting that he may not be such a hero after all.
Instead, the man's lawyer says that officer used excessive force on his client during last year's incident. Now we're seeing video of how it all played out. Kathy Curran with our affiliate WCVB reports.
The MBTA Transit Police released this video last May, showing Detective Sean Conway pulling a man back from the edge and stopping him from falling onto the tracks at Park Street Station. Now retired Chief Paul McMillan praised Conway for his actions that day.
He was alert, he saw what was going to happen, and he took appropriate action, so we're very proud of him.
The video that was originally released ends with the detective dragging the man to safety. There's no question the cop saved a life, but here's what the T didn't want you to see. This video, obtained exclusively by 5 Investigates, shows a struggle after the rescue between the T-Cop and Anthony Ferrier, who had been drinking that day. As the tape rolls, you see Detective Conway punching Ferrier several times. This photo, provided by Ferrier's lawyer, shows the injuries allegedly received at the hands of the detective.
The MBTA misled the public and clearly intended to do so. If they truly believed that the officer's actions were appropriate from beginning to end, they would have released the entire video and let the public decide.
It took a lawsuit and 8 months for the MBTA to finally release the entire video showing exactly what happened that day. Ferrier's lawyer calls this a case of excessive force. In a statement, the MBTA Transit Police tell 5 Investigates Detective Conway's use of force was justified and commensurate for the situation. The department's use of force committee concluded Conway was in compliance with policy.
Some people may look at this and say the officer was doing his best to try to prevent him from going back towards the edge of the platform.
Properly trained police officers do not punch people in the face. Police officers receive extensive training in subduing suspects.
There's no question in your mind that this is a case of excessive force?
There is no question in my mind.
And the transit police told the TV station the detective shown in that video is held in high regard for his professionalism and his work ethic.
They say he did report, though, that he struck the man in the face that day. A police officer...
So, there's a bit to unpack in this whole thing here. Well, first of all, I don't see how that is excessive force. If you watch the video, you very clearly see that when that altercation starts, and the cop has subdued the guy, and he should have, by the way. That guy was publicly intoxicated. That's a crime. Whether you think it should be or not, it is illegal, and the cop maybe should enforce it. Number 2, the guy was clearly a danger to himself. He could have died. If that cop hadn't been there and dragged him off in cuffs, and subdued him, he would be dead. He wouldn't be making this lawsuit right now. He wouldn't be, calling this excessive force right now. He'd be in a fucking grave somewhere, rotting. Okay? He's lucky. He's lucky he got out of that whole situation with nothing but a black eye. All right? So he really should be more grateful. This is like a slap in the face to the guy that just saved your life. I mean, hell, I would punch somebody if I saw them being that stupid. You know. Besides which, that was justified. Okay? If you watch the video, you see that when that altercation starts, that guy that he's subduing actually throws a punch at him on the ground. When he's on top of him, he swipes up at the cop, and the cop retaliates. The cop is trying to subdue this drunk idiot that almost just got himself killed. And this drunk idiot now, a year later, wants to call it excessive force, wants to try to sue. You know, that's bullshit. He should be ashamed of himself, not only for being a drunken dumbass and almost getting killed by a New York, I think it was a New York subway, a subway of some sort. You know, he should be ashamed for being such an ungrateful piece of shit. He's lucky. He's lucky he got out of it with a black eye. He could have lost so much more. You know, this is one of the problems with America. No one's ever grateful for anything. You can end up getting sued for saving someone's life. It's absolutely ridiculous. Additionally, that lawyer is absolutely and completely full of shit. The training for cops does, in fact, allow for punches to the face. This is a site called Police One. They do a lot of stuff when it comes to, you know, use of force, police training, etc. Now, granted, they're a police organization, so maybe they're fucking biased. I don't know. But surely they would know what the training is like for a cop. Okay? Let's read it. In some situations, it may be absolutely reasonable and appropriate for a law enforcement officer to strike a suspect in the head/face area with a fisted punch. To be clear, I am writing about a knuckles leading the way punch. Using a fisted punch is a natural response that some have trained to do for many years through martial arts, boxing, or other fighting sports. It is true that under stress, the dominant response will prevail, so if the officer has spent many hours practicing fisted punches, he will most likely deliver fisted punches as a body weapon, or as a body weapon option when under stress. Others have previous experience in using fisted punches in other contexts. There are some downsides to striking a subject in the face or head area with a fisted punch. The first and most concerning problem is the injury potential to the officer. You know, it goes on, but basically, this basically shows that yes, it is part of the training. You know, this just shows the bias that some people have when it comes to cops. You know, there's this attitude that any sort of force used by a cop in detaining somebody is unjustified. Well, that's bullshit. Sometimes cops need to punch people in the face. They need to do it. They need to, hold people on the ground. They need to do all sorts of things. They need to detain people sometimes. You people don't understand. Okay, you really don't. You don't understand that all the laws that keep you safe, all of the laws that you like, whatever they are enforced through this sort of violence. They have to be. And in this case, this man who got punched in the face was being protected from his own stupidity. He's lucky. He's lucky that there was someone there to do that. And, I view him as a piece of shit for trying to stir up trouble about it. That's all I have to say on this. What do you guys think of it? I'm really curious. I'm sure I'll get plenty of, people who just, have a massive hate erection for cops and want to disparage them any time there's any sort of incident involving force. Because there have been, instances where there's been really unjustified, excessive force. But so many of you out there are just willing to condemn cops no matter what. Just completely ignore the situation. As soon as there's a cop involved, you're against them. So if you do respond to this, please respond with some reason. Don't just do this ridiculous crap of, disparaging cops just because they're cops. That's all I have to say. Have a nice day.